There's a difference between these two terms, color correction and color grading. Correction is the action or process of correcting something. Color correction is just that, correcting color that isn't correct and needs to be adjusted to look like it should have when shot. Color grading is an artistic choice, such as putting a teal and orange cast on a movie or a yellow cast to show some scene taking place somewhere in a desert. Although color correction gets put in the same category as color grading, let's keep them separate for now. There's generally 4 broad uses for color correction. The first is when the scene shot is messed up. Let's say you shot a scene and the white balance is off and everything looks yellow. Knowing your color value opposites, you could correct this by moving the color from yellow to its opposite, blue, to remove the yellow cast. The second is when you want to correct the shot to make it more look like it should. You want the blacks to look black, the whites to look white, the skin to look like skin, and so on. Here's some shot footage, and I think it would look better if I made the blacks blacker. This is usually referred to as crushing the blacks. So we dial in the blacks like this, and it looks better. Before and after. The third would be matching shot from, say, 2 cameras. Here's some footage shot on a 600D and some on a 5D Mark III. When we cut from one to the other, we want to make these look somewhat similar in color. There are many ways of matching shots and even software tools that will help you with this. The simple way to do it is to put one on top of the other and place a mask on them so you can see them next to each other. Then grab whatever color correction tool you use and match them up with your eyeballs until they look similar. Remove the mask and done. If I cut from this shot to this shot, it's not quite right. If I color correct them to be similar as shown, it looks better. A better way to know what colors are what is to use something like this x-rite color checker. You may think spending over $100 for this plastic case, which looks like a makeup kit, is insane, but the point is this is dead nuts when it comes to setting colors on your camera, white balance, and so on. If I hold this up before I shoot on the 5D and hold this up before I shoot on the 600D, I now have something to compare from one to the other. It not only makes getting the correct colors a snap, but makes matching shots a breeze. Lastly, you use color correction when you shoot knowing you'll be correcting the color. You'll see raw footage like this, and it was intentionally shot that way so it can be color corrected all over the place without the image falling apart. Knowing you want to do heavy color correction and color grading in your film or video is the reason to shoot raw or in a format that lends itself to this process. I am by far no color correction or grading expert. If a project is important, I would pay people who are the expert, and that includes lighting experts, sound experts, and color experts, and so on. If you want to learn all about color correction, like any other field of study, you're going to enter a world filled with terms and techniques and acronyms. You'll need to understand the types of formats different camera shoots, all about color, and so on. But for most watching this channel, you'll usually be shooting normally, hoping everything looks well when you get it into editing, expecting to do little or no color correction. The way you do that is to have everything set up properly in the first place. If your white balance is not set properly, you'll end up with off-color or grossly miscolored shots, and you'll have to color correct them. If your exposure is set too low, meaning the shot is really dark, or you didn't take the time to ensure the scene is lit properly, you'll have to color correct it to make it brighter. If it's way too dark, you're out of luck, as the camera recorded a lot of dark information you can't recover what isn't there. If it's too bright, you have to bring the brightness down. And again, if it's too bright, you may not be able to fix it, as the camera is only able to record all the whiteness, and you can't recover what has not been recorded. I have things set in the studio exactly the way I like them. The lights are the correct color and brightness. The camera has its white balance set correctly for this space. The exposure is set correctly. The ISO is a decent value, and so on. The point here is garbage in equals garbage out. It's always better to get everything set up properly prior to when you shoot to get what you want. When you're not shooting, that's your big chance to mess around with the camera and the lights and the sound and get everything as perfect as you can before it gets recorded. After it's recorded, if you messed up, then it can waste a lot of time and look awful, or worse, the audio or video recorded is just unusable no matter how hard you try and correct it. The real lesson here is to mess around when you're not filming with your lights and mic placement and audio levels and camera settings and all that. If you really take the time to understand how all these different things work, how they interact with each other, and how to improve them, your videos will look a lot better no matter what camera, lighting, microphone, or audio recorder you use. Oh, and for those of you in on this, don't forget you've got until December 31st to submit your basic Filmmaker bumper. Just watch the video that shows up in the info card above or in the video description below, as well as links to the x-rite color checker. I hope that helps. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Like these. Mike Anderson Productions, he does commercial production. Worth It or Not YouTube channel, excellent drone and camera reviews, silky smooth voice, I want to steal. He sent this as a joke. So let's beat the crap out of gear. I've watched it like 5 times. It makes me laugh. Would I use it as a bumper? Probably not. No, I wouldn't, but it's great. Thank you all.